Welcome to Bleav In 76ers with your hosts, former 76ers point guard Eric Snow and two Sixers fanatics in Marcus and Teja Dash. Bleav In 76ers is presented by BetOnline.AG.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use promo code BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bleav In 76ers podcast. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary 76ers point guard Eric Snow and my brother Teja Dash. Guys, we've gotten to All-Star break, so it's going to be a fun weekend of festivities. We got our guy Maxey in the All-Star game, of course. It's going to be a fun one. I believe it's in Indianapolis this weekend. Eric, any thoughts from a player's point of view? Is Indianapolis a popping spot? I mean, you guys played against the Pacers and stuff. Is that a good spot for an All-Star game? It's not the sexiest location.
It's a good spot for an All-Star game if you are, a fan of the festivities, because everything, you stay downtown, everything is right there. The jam session, all the events, and the arena, cool. And if they may have some in the stadium, like it's all in the same, central location. As far as happening and partying and all that, now that's probably a different perspective for some people. But sometimes the All-Star game isn't necessarily about where it is; it's just about who's there and who you're kicking it with. So you can have a great time, even if the city isn't necessarily popping like other cities. But Indianapolis definitely is a convenience, good place. As far as getting around and moving and limiting your time sitting in a car or something like that. So it's a good place to have it. I wouldn't say it's a good place to have it a lot.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say it's a good venue to have it if you didn't go to the All-Star, if you didn't make the All-Star team.
It's I mean, like I said, if I'm taking my younger boys there, it would be convenient because everything is right there. A lot of the stuff is connected. You don't have to walk outside sometimes, depending on where you're going. So from that standpoint, it works.
That's cool.
Yeah. Some of the guys, what was the comment that Doc had yesterday after the Milwaukee Bucks game? Some of those guys aren't going to Indianapolis; they're already in Cabo right now.
You see that, Eric?
Yeah, that's common. That's very common. Very common. Comment is like guys are already on vacation. Like we used to be in the locker room and actually saying like, "Dude, let's play the game before everybody go on vacation. Like, let's win. Let's get a win before we go on vacation." Like it was with us. That was like a topic of conversation. Like, let's not give away a game because everybody's already on break. And that was it was more of a concern for us because our breaks were so short compared to how they are now. You would play Wednesday or Thursday and you had practice Monday.
Wow.
They used to do us a favor and say, well, you couldn't practice before noon on Monday.
Oh, that's
something
nice.
Crazy like that. And if you had an All-Star, then you had to move your practice back, to maybe 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock or something like that. But yeah, we played on Tuesday. I mean, it was many times I played on Thursday and played Tuesday.
Wow.
So it wasn't really a break. I mean,
like a mini break.
You think you get a break, but you don't really feel like one. So the schedules are different. That's when, the last lockout, the players fought for that time off and they get, longer season. So it's a long calendar season for the NBA season. And that's why it's such a fight for guys sitting out games, because that was something that was talked about the last lockout as far as extending the season. The All-Star break is longer and fewer back-to-backs, no 4 game in 5 nights, which we had 2 or 3 or 3 or 4 in the season when I played. They don't have them. They don't have them at all now. They rarely, if any, 3 and 4 nights. So we can look at Sixers schedule. I mean, I can probably guess that they don't have more than 1 or 2 of those. Like those were regular. The 4 and 5 nights were rough, man. You could play a Tuesday, Wednesday. It was nothing to play a Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
It's
Nothing
too
for
much.
that to happen. That was like that's common.
2 back-to-backs in a week.
Yeah. I mean, you could play a Friday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday.
So like guys back then didn't even consider just rest days. It wouldn't even be considered. You guys ever talk about it amongst yourselves?
No, it wasn't like if you didn't have an injury, like it was like wasn't gonna happen. Like guys didn't do it. But the difference is guys were, certain guys you were risking, like you kind of felt like you were cheating your team if you didn't play. But more than anything, like if you look at training camp and practice, like our training camps, the 2 days lasted the whole month. Like the whole month when I first started. So it was like you were happy to play games because it was like we don't have to practice as much. And like during the season, if we practiced, like we had a real practice. Like if we didn't have games, we had a day off. Or if we had a game and we came in for practice, like we had a real practice. Like it wasn't just walk through, shoot around, like we were practicing.
Yeah.
So guys, you going through all of that, then you're not going to not sit. Just sit down if you're hurt. I mean, if you're not, if you can play, but it's different, just different time and different expectations. That's why I say that I don't put it all on the players because the coaches, management, organizations, the team, like they all in agreement to do it like this because if a player, and there was a lot of players that are like, man, I'm injured, I can't play. And the team was like, man, he can play. The doctor cleared him. He like, I can't play. So you had a lot of that going on, but it was all that dispute was always about some form of an injury and how serious the injury was or how he felt about the injury. It was never he's not injured, we're just giving him time off. Like that didn't exist. The only time that existed was at the end of the season. You would see teams start doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Once they kind of, made their playoff spot or, got their seed or whatever, you would start seeing teams pull back players. And the reason why is because the playoffs started so fast after the season. So I Bleav now it's the last games is Sunday and the playoffs start Saturday, or the play-in start a little earlier for some teams. But the teams that make the playoff, I think it's Sunday to Saturday. For us, it was like Wednesday and you could play Saturday. So it was really quick turnaround. So you would see guys kind of at the end of the year take days off because they know that playoff turnaround was really quick.
Yeah. And you played through arguably just different eras, period. So I don't think you made it to the point where the load management was in full effect at that point in 07, 08. But did you start to see kind of a shift in that? Guys having more of
when I was playing, you started seeing, I think the Spurs and Popnum was like the first ones to start doing it and getting called out for it.
Yeah.
And it was really only because they were doing it in the top games. But I Bleav I was gone when that really, really went down. I think I was on my way out.
Yeah.
Because that 07, 08 was really, that was
11, 12-ish was when they started doing that, I think, 13 or something.
Yeah. So you've seen people do it, but not like healthy scratches didn't really exist except for later in the season. Like it didn't exist. Now you may have a guy that got injured and he was cleared to play and they may play him and then he sit out a game, but it's still about that injury. It's not just a guy it's a back-to-back, so I'm gonna just sit one of these games. Yeah, they just did it different. I mean, they do it different now. So I don't think guys. I know the guys that I know the guys that I know that I played with, I have a relationship with, wouldn't be complaining. Nobody would be complaining if we were allowed to do that. If we were allowed to have load management, it would be zero complaints.
Mm-hmm.
So guys are getting, if you see a lot of older guys complain, most of them that have complained to me was that they feel that the guy should rather want to play games and sit out the other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like sit out practice. Like just don't practice. Just play the game and don't practice.
Yeah.
That's the part for it's a lot of older guys. It's hard for them to understand. Like, it's 82 games. If you're healthy, then you play. If you aren't, then that's different. You were not comparing healthy versus unhealthy. It's the healthy scratches.
Mm-hmm.
That it's hard. I don't really take an opinion on it, but I'm just saying, like, guys that are very voiceful and this on this. And usually it's guys that are older than me that played through different circumstances.
Real
lot
stuff.
of the, when I came into the league, it was charter flights. A lot of these guys didn't have charter flights. So on back-to-backs, they had to get up early in the morning, catch a plane, fly to that city, and then play. So most of them, they have no understanding of a guy just sitting out the rest. Like they have zero understanding.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that.
So, and I'm like, well, yeah, I guess it's different. And that's why I've just come to the realization that it's not all the players. It can't be all them.
It was early 2010s when it started, and the first time they ever got fined for it was 2012. They got fined $250,000 for resting all 4 players against the Heat.
Yeah, that was a big deal. That was like a middle finger to the league almost.
Yep. They called it what did they say? A disservice to the league and their fans. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
Talking about
that was the one. That was the one when he not only did he sit him out, but he flew him back to San Antonio.
I didn't see that in that article, but that's great.
Yeah,
one of them games he supposedly flew him back so they wouldn't come and try to make him play.
Oh man!
Wow,
pop,
petty pop.
So I don't know if that was after all that. So I don't know.
Yeah, our schedule following the All-Star break, just talking about this conversation of having breaks and stuff. So coming off the break, we go Knicks, Cavs back-to-back. We're off Saturday. Then we play the Bucks on Sunday. And then we're off Monday. And then we play the Celtics Tuesday. So we have 4 games in 6 nights. That's kind of a throwback.
Yeah.
Hopefully our team is healthy by that point. Obviously outside of Embiid.
So you said we play who do we play? The Knicks, the Cavs, the Bucks, and the Celtics?
Yeah. I'll play off
the top 4 teams?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you're right. 4 games.
That's the schedule?
Yeah.
That's the schedule.
4 games in 6 nights. New York, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Boston.
Oh wow, that is
all home games besides the Boston game.
That's brutal, man. Well,
I read that we have the hardest schedule coming out of the All-Star break in the league. So that would make sense looking at these 4 games.
And then we get to rest 3 days and then play Charlotte.
There you go.
Why couldn't they mix Charlotte in there somewhere? But whatever.
Yeah, so it's a nice little throwback for those guys having to play right out the gate. So since our last show, we've officially signed Kyle Lowry. This is a kind of speculation. So 1 roster spot down, 2 to go. And as we expected, we brought back Philly's own Kyle Lowry. Now, there's some speculation here that Lowry is going to start when he's active. So a couple questions for you guys. What do you think Lowry brings to this squad? And what do you make about Kyle Lowry possibly starting next to Maxey when he's healthy and available?
Well, I think I've spoken on it when we had Pat, I didn't think it was a move that was necessary. Now that Pat is gone, the veteran influence, veteran experience, veteran locker room experience. It's definitely needed, especially as we keep, as it appears every time you watch, we appear to be younger in our guys that are playing. So definitely helps from that perspective. We know who Kyle is for his career. As far as starting, this one's tough because I don't think the starting is because he's a better option as much as I think it's a better option for him to be a starter over a reserve. So I don't necessarily think that it's the best option for, like I said, for us as you know, as a Sixers team. I'm not sure if that I'm not certain if that's the best option, but I do think from Kyle's perspective, it may be better for him to be a starter than come off the bench, and you kind of need a different kind of energy and stuff coming off the bench. It's not always easy for a lot of guys.
He was playing 28 minutes a game with Miami. Before that, he was playing straight 30s for the past 10 years. So starting now or starting when we have everyone back, it might be a little different there, right? Starting now, playing 25, 30 minutes a game a night while we have all these injuries, I think that's a great plan.
Yeah, I mean, I was assuming when everyone's back. Yes.
So you're saying the whole start, even when everyone's back,
yeah.
possible.
I was saying in retrospect of everyone playing outside of maybe Joel. Yeah.
I mean, I agree with you. I think even if he does start, I don't want to see him playing 28, 30 minutes a night. I mean, he's 37, almost 38, actually. I don't want his legs to be jello by the playoffs. So I like to keep his minutes in the 18, max 25 range to be effective for the playoffs. I'd be okay starting him. I just don't. Who are we starting him over? Like you're benching Melton, you're benching Hield, you're bringing those guys off the bench now. So it's like,
that's what I'm saying. That's why I said I don't think it's necessarily better for us. It's better for him though.
Yeah.
I mean, and what you gonna do? You gonna play him off the ball? You gonna take so Maxi's an all-star, and we're gonna take him off the ball? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I think it just makes more sense to bring him off the bench. That way, you can just start staggering your lineups. Have him in there playing sole point guard without Maxey. Have him playing there a little with Maxey, just to kind of mix it up a little bit. And the way Hield's been playing, I don't think you can bench him either. And Melton's been a starter, and it's not like he was playing poorly before he went down. So, to bench him for Lowry, it'd be kind of weird. But as far as what he brings, leadership, toughness, I think you named it all in that one. We knew that him and Beverly had a little redundancy with the way they played. He has a little versatility. I don't know what his defensive rating was this year, but he always had a knack for guarding guys that were slightly bigger than him too. So, he's not necessarily like a defensive weakness by any means. And shooting around 39% this year, only 4.5 attempts. So he'll get a lot of open looks when all the guys are back between Embiid, Maxey, Tobias, and Buddy. And if he keeps hitting 39%, I mean, we might go from one of the bottom 3-point shooting teams to one of the top 3-point shooting teams.
Yeah, and also he came into the season like in the best shape of his career. So those were some of the quotes I read coming into the season because a lot of people make fun of him for his being kind of being a little husky, and people make fun of him for that. He came in this year like in the best shape, he said. So and he was shooting around 40% from three this year. So sounds like a good fit. But I think if he comes back, Melton's coming back from his injury, maybe they say he's starting out while Melton kind of gets, ramped up in kind of more game shape.
Yep.
I don't know. And then Melton overtakes the job, but I don't know.
They're going to play around with it and see what works best.
Yeah, but so you're saying that Buddy, do you all agree that Buddy's more of a 2 than he is a 3? Is that, because at this rate, so if Lowry does start, it'd be Lowry, Maxey, and then Buddy at 3. Is that what you would think it would go with?
He played 3 in Indiana.
No, I wouldn't necessarily say he's more of a 3 than the 2. I think those are, and nowadays are almost the same position. When you see a guy that's playing 2, but you think KCP from Denver, who's a 2, but he's going to guard the 1, 2,
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
So it really, like I think I've told you guys before, the position is really about who you guard more so than what you play on the offensive end. So if we, it's who you guarding. So if we're playing, Boston, who's going to guard who? That's going to kind of determine what you are.
Yeah, it's true.
Jaylen Brown's listed as
Bruce Brown.
I know last year Jaylen Brown was listed as the guard and Tatum was the forward. But if you watch him play, you think Tatum's the guard and Brown's the forward.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So continuing with Buddy Hield, so we haven't really had an episode where we kind of praise Buddy Hield's play so far in Philadelphia. But so far, Buddy looks amazing, averaging 22 points a game, 4 rebounds, 7.5 assists, almost 2 steals, and shooting 45% from 3 on 10 attempts per game. He also had his career high in assists in a single game already, and it's just his 3rd game with us. So thought that was pretty cool. But obviously, we hope Embiid gets better to come back to play with Buddy. And recently, Buddy said some stuff about Embiid, saying, quote, Joel Embiid's a guy that controls the whole game, and he controls the game in a positive way. Whether it's slow or fast, I'm excited to adjust to that. But when that time comes, you need a short period of time because you need to adjust. That's the fun part of being a professional. It's always a new challenge, so I'm up for it. So far, what are your guys' thoughts on Buddy? And also, how do you see him adjusting when Embiid returns?
Well, his game travels because of his ability to shoot the ball. So it travels. He can fit in almost any system. It comes down to the details of how he's going to get his shots, how efficient he is, and if the team is kind of making him more of a focus. I think with Joel out, he's becoming more of a focus, handling the ball more than I expected.
Yeah.
So I know that right there is where I think it'll be different when Joel comes back. Him handling the ball as much. But the shots, I think that comes down to Nurse and his staff finding more ways to get him more shots. So I don't think the shots should ever go down. But maybe the ball handling responsibilities will. But so I think he'll adjust because his ability, because like I said, his game travels. He can move it around because of his ability to knock it down.
So we're going to be getting him, mid-season or beyond mid-season, at least with Embiid at the same time, because of his shooting and his skill set. That's how it's so much easier for him to transition with Embiid than it would be for like someone like getting Harden like mid-season, right?
It would, because a guy like Buddy, you can call plays for him, but it's not sets where he is just holding the ball or he's making the play. He can just be receiving the ball and knock down shots. So you can have action with him and Joel have the ball instead of him having the ball. You can initiate different ways to get him involved. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to be a little creative as far as getting him shots and not just depend on Joel or Maxey making the play and getting them shots, because teams are going to be locked into him as a shooter. Yeah. So they're not going to, especially as you get close to the playoffs and in the playoffs, they're not going to give him clean looks. So it has to be some form of creativity to get him some shots when Joel is back and we're at full throttle.
They need to start watching film on the old JJ Redick Embiid.
That's what I'm saying. So you have to get him shots. Sort of in the same way with JJ. I think that
and Curry.
JJ was great coming off those down screens, a lot of that action. Where I think Buddy is he's more of a risk taker as far as shot selection, more so than JJ was. So he'll take more shots. He'll take more challenging shots. Um, so I don't think he needs to be in a situation where he's always seeking a shot. I think the team got to help him. The coaches got to help him. The players got to make it a point of emphasis also to get him good looks.
It's also funny too. JJ Redick's 6'3", Buddy Hield's listed at 6'4", but when you look at them on the court, Buddy looks so much taller than JJ Redick does.
Well, he is taller, but they measure now. Your height is barefoot. It wasn't then.
Okay, so he's probably like 2 inches taller than him then.
He's probably 1.5, something like that.
Yeah. Well, I think his minutes will come down a bit. He's playing like insane 39 minutes per game right now. I don't think that's going to keep up all year, especially when we get all of our depth back. I think his points per game will come down a little bit. I don't think he'll be averaging 22, 23 the rest of the season, especially when you have Embiid and Tobias back full time. I don't think his 3-point attempts will go down that much. He's at 10 a game right now. I think he probably goes more to closer to his career average. I think his career average is around like 8 or 9. Yeah, 7.7. I think it'll go around 8. I think the ease of his shot selection will go up a lot. I think his shots will become a lot because he's taking some tough ones because he's having to create most of his shots right now. I think he'll have a lot more open catch and shoot opportunities when he has Embiid and Tobias in the court at the same time. Yeah, I'd say the transition should be pretty easy for him as opposed to some other playing style players because it's just, while he gets really infiltrated and he gets that groove with Embiid, he could just, take what the defense gives him and have open shots when it's there and a dribble handoff here and there, a down screen here and there, and until you start calling stuff up for him. And it's like Buddy's not a ball hog at all, so he can make an impact by just hitting open threes. Just taking those while he gets, more of a groove with them. Yeah, I don't think it'll be that difficult. I mean, easier said than done, but I also just love his attitude, just talking about him, how many good things he said about Philly. And, most guys say a lot of really nice things when they go to a new city, when they get acquired. It just seems to me that like Buddy's been wanting to come here for a long time. Like a very long time. And from the way he talked to his agent when she called him in the middle of the night, his reaction, it was very genuine. And it just seemed like this is where he's want to be for quite a while. And I think he fits really, really well. If you take, and I'm counting the Lillard trades, I'm counting all offseason. If you take the last year of trades, I might say Hield to the Sixers might be the best player/fit trade in the NBA in the last year. And that's with Lillard and Giannis because as great Giannis, I mean, Lillard's obviously the better player, but I don't think it was the better fit. I just think with Buddy's skill set and how good he is, I think it's one of the better trades we've seen in a long time with what it will translate to.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, it's what makes it more of a fit is you look at Dame. I think Dame and Giannis are a good fit. The issue is they gave up Drew Holiday to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the Sixers didn't give up a starter to make that happen. So some of it is the fit, but it's also you didn't have to give away any of your top 8 players to get a top 5 player. Know what I'm saying? So
they gave away their second best player to get their second best player.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Whereas here you didn't get that. So I think it's even more so than the fit, it was necessarily getting him and what you had to give up.
Yeah.
So
hell of a trade.
And that's why, guys on the end last year, their deal, expiring contracts are valuable.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
But it was so fantastic trade. I see a lot of the big Indiana Twitter accounts. They're just saying how much they miss Buddy and how much the offense has not necessarily been hurting, but you just see the difference in the floor spacing and how easy some of those, threes that he was hitting. And yeah, it's great to see. Yeah. It's good to see when the former team is missing a player that bad.
Well, the weeks leading up to that trade, they were starting to face him out. Like he was barely getting any minutes. He was getting like 10 to 15 minutes a game, or like the week or two leading up to the
Yeah, I
trade.
mean, that's why I said they started playing the younger guys. They started playing the younger guys who were playing well, and brought them a different energy, and so you kind of seen the writing was on the wall. Not necessarily because of how he was playing; it was just the direction the team was going. They were just going younger, and when your best players are younger, then it's easy to do that. And when they got Siakam, it was really, to me, that was really what changed it when they got him. You knew they were going to go on the youth movement after that. I mean, why play in the older guys if you feel the younger guys are close enough?
Yeah, and Neesmith is playing really well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why easier to do that.
Yeah, I've always been a big Buddy fan. Loved him in college. He was really probably one of the. Ironically, Redick and Buddy, two of like the most fun like college players in the last like 20 years to watch. So it's funny we've had both of them, and they're going to play the similar type roles with when Embiid comes back. Keith Pompey, the Philadelphia Inquirer, he did a mailbag yesterday, and someone asked him, with Daryl Morey clearing with going to clear the cap space route, are there any players currently on the team you feel strongly that will stay or leave in the offseason? And he said, I feel strongly about Maxey and Hield coming back and with Embiid as well. But I believe Tobias Harris is gone. So he thinks Buddy Hield's going to be one of the guys who stays in the squad. Do you guys agree that Buddy would be one of the guys who does stay with Maxey and Embiid?
I have no idea. I mean, I would think that they want him to come back. And I would think that he would want to, I don't know why you would want to leave and you got Maxey and Joel. Yeah. It kind of fits where he's at. So I could see him wanting to do that and then them wanting to have him. I mean, it's like Teja said, it's a fit. So, but I wouldn't necessarily say Tobias is out because we never know.
Yeah.
What he's willing to sacrifice to stay. We don't know that. We don't know what Hield is willing to sacrifice to kind of have a better team. So we don't know.
Yeah. That's the one thing too. Buddy's been consistent about wanting to come to Philadelphia, writing Instagram posts, like commenting on different things like 4 years ago. And then when we played Sacramento, I think he went up to Doc, and you could see Doc saying, "Yeah, we tried to get you. We tried to get you." You could see him saying that to him during a game. So he's finally in Philadelphia. So hopefully he sticks around longer than just half a season.
Yeah. Well, we waited and got him for 3 seconds. So
yeah.
There you go. I wonder how much we had to give up then to get him, but it wasn't any less than 3 seconds. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
So talking about young guys, so when you're down as many players as the Sixers are currently, you get to see what we have with our young guys. And one of those names is Ricky Council IV. He's someone who's made the most of it, averaging 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 17 minutes played over the last 5 games with a plus minus of 3. With a positive plus minus in 3 of those games. I got a question. So obviously there's a lot of, Sixer fans, they gravitate towards the young guys. They love the young guys. We love the young guys too, but people are trying to make it, I don't know if they're trying to make it seem like he's better than he is with how he's played so far. But a lot of people are saying we found a guy who should be getting minutes when everyone is healthy, that he should be seeing more minutes than maybe some guys like a Rocco type when he does come back, Covington. Do you guys think that, Ricky Council's earn regular minutes when everyone is back and healthy? And do you see him possibly getting a multi-year contract to stick around on the squad?
I do see him returning on an additional year or so. Kind of depends on how, because I think especially if you're going out and you're getting higher priced free agents, then it's going to cut down your salary cap space, so you're going to need guys on the lower end of the salary. So I can see him returning because of that. As far as the regular rotation, he's earned the right to be considered. That's what he's earned. That will come down to how the guys that were playing are playing when they return. So I think he's done enough that if he'll be ready, but I don't think he's done enough to take the spots from the guys that were in there pre-injury. So those guys will get the chance to come back and play. But what he has done is he's established the trust that it isn't working with these other guys. We can go back to him. And that's kind of sort of how I envision it for him right now.
Yeah. As much as I love the RC4 contributions while we're shorthanded, we're pretty deep. So cracking playoff minutes without some injuries happening, I just think that'll be tough. And everyone makes a big deal about saving cap space next year, but like you said, we'll need the low salary depth players if we're going to go after the high price players. I think he's more than deserved to be a depth piece in this team. And if someone's injured or not playing well for whatever reason or in foul trouble, I think he's definitely earned the right to be a guy who can be counted on in those situations.
Yeah, love what we see from even Terquavion. He's looked well. He hasn't really gotten that many minutes since campaigns come over, but yeah, I love what I've seen from the young guys. Morey did a good job with this draft class.
Yeah,
class. Obviously, since it's All-Star break, we're going to do our final topics here. All-Star break, no game pick, so we're going to make some All-Star festivities predictions. So we'll begin with the skills challenge. So we have there's 3 teams here on the skills challenge competition.
Mm-hmm.
So you have team top picks. So that's Banchero, Edwards, and Wemby. You have team all-stars, Scotty Barnes, Tyrese Maxey, and Trae Young. Then you have team pacers, Halliburton, Mathurin, and Miles Turner. Who do you guys think wins the skills challenge between those 3 teams?
I'll take team all-stars.
Yeah, I'm betting team all-stars as well.
Well, I'll change my pick then. I'll take team top. I'll take team top picks. I don't want to take the same one as you.
It's interesting that team top picks is the highest odds to win, actually, because I guess because the name Wemby in there, but look at team all stars. I mean, Barnes, Maxey, Young, they have the speed, the passing, dribbling aspect. They have 2 point guards in their team, and Barnes averages 6 assists a game. So yeah, I would seem like they'd be the favorite. If I was a betting man, which I am from time to time, I would bet on team all stars.
Yeah, I've already placed my bet on team all stars, so I already have my money tied to this one. Okay, so we have a 3-point contest. So with this one, we actually have one returning champ coming to this one in Karl Anthony Towns in this 3-point contest. But he's not the defending champ, but he's the only one on this list who's already won one. So we got Tyrese Halliburton, Trae Young, Beasley, Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, Markkanen, and Donovan Mitchell. Who's your guy on this one?
I'll pick Halliburton and Towns. Halliburton wins it, home crowd.
Yeah.
He's the odds-on favorite too. Who you got in this one, Marcus?
I'll go Markkanen. I think something about that. He's also a good line too, plus 800. So he's a second lowest odds here to win this whole thing. So, and I think I think Markkanen's going to win. We've seen the bigs win this before. Towns has proven that. So I think Markkanen comes in and wins this one.
I'm going Beasley. I believe he still has the highest percentage from the corners. 3-point shooting. Yeah, I think he pulls it out. Middle of the road odds plus 650.
Yeah, not bad.
Are you guys player on the list?
Are you guys going to place bets on these picks or no? On
probably
the All-Star. Yeah, it's a crapshoot.
Bet on Beasley.
Yeah, they're fun to bet on, but yeah, they're all crapshoots.
Yeah.
Also, I think Steph's going against the WNBA player. I can't pronounce her last name. But that's going on as well this weekend.
Okay. Is it? Okay.
Yeah, that's a little different rules though. Different. So it wouldn't surprise me if she wins.
Are they? What's the rule difference?
I mean, she's shooting with her ball and from her line.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I thought I heard that she was going to be using the NBA ball.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know why she would.
Yeah. I would stick with my ball. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was like a medicine ball for her. She can't do that.
Yeah. So second to last festivities, you got the dunk contest. So this year we actually have like a big time star in this one, Jaylen Brown. You got Jaime Jaquez, Mac McClung, and Jacob Toppin in this one. Who do you guys have in the dunk contest?
I'll take Toppin. Who knows?
Ooh.
Lowest odds. I'll take him.
All right.
McClung is easy. Is McClung even on the roster?
I think the Magic might have pulled him up by now. I don't know.
The last I saw, they still listed his G League team.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Making me pull him up for this.
Yeah.
There's no need, no.
Yeah.
I have to. If I'm going to bet on this, I'm going to definitely bet on McClung. This is like his Super Bowl, man. He's been preparing for this all season. This is it. This is it for him.
I'm going with the star in this one. I'm going Jaylen Brown. I think the NBA is going to want more stars to compete in this. I think even if he has like mediocre dunks, they're going to give him good ratings on this one because they want more stars to come compete in this one. And I think if he flops, it might hurt them as far as attracting more stars in the future. So I think Brown wins this one, and it would be a good finals between him and McClung. I'm going to think on this.
But McClung was that was one of the most entertaining ones in a long time, and that wasn't a star driven, right? People are watching this to see McClung.
Yeah, I mean, he did dunks that he had been doing for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they had him. He had videos of all his dunks that he did in there. So that's where it was different. He just did it on that stage.
Yeah.
I think Brown's going to bring some kind of a little star power to this one.
All right, you're doing the star thing, all right?
I really am into the star thing on this one.
Really, you think the script's written for stars, huh?
I think so. I think they want more guys like Jaylen Brown. I think they even paid him a good chunk to even be in this.
Did they really?
I think so. I think I read somewhere about that.
We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. So the last is obviously the All-Star game. You got East versus West, some little throwback action of the All-Star games where the two conferences will go against each other. The West is favored by 3 points in this one. Who do you guys have?
I'm always an East guy. You don't even have to ask me anymore. I'm always pulling for East.
Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah, I got East too.
Although I'm pulling for East, I think the West is going to win.
Okay. That's why you're a betting guy.
Yeah. Got the heart and the head. Especially with the injury to Embiid. I just think they'll have too much in that game.
You're on the East court, though. You're in Indiana territory, though. So it's a home court game for the East.
Home court game for the East. The one All-Star in that game who's going to be in home court. Everyone else has got to travel.
It's going to be packed with Eastern Conference fans in there.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah. I think it's a collection of a lot of celebrities and people who aren't really have no ties to East West.
Yeah, they just want a good game. They just want a fun game. Yeah,
hopefully it's that. All right, guys. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We hope you guys enjoy All-Star Weekend, and maybe take our picks and advice for some of these festivities this weekend. But we hope you guys enjoy the three-board contest and slam dunk contest, and we'll see you guys Tuesday as we prepare for the second half of the season and this next 4 games out of 6 nights next week. So that's gonna be a doozy for the fellas. But hope you guys enjoy the weekend. See you, fellas.
Later on, guys.
Take it easy.